And we're back. I'm your host, BKP. Good morning from the office, North Georgia's only live online morning show. We have been looking at Georgia, staying focused, and we will get back to national news. I know what you're saying out there. My focus is always on the elections, and that is my number one thing. And yes, we are concerned about the spies and the moles and the gophers and whatever all Obama leashed out. I do think John Brennan and Clapper and people like that should share a jail cell somewhere. I do not think Michelle Obama and Barack Obama should be signing a contract with Netflix. But then again, we live in a country where criminals get book deals. And you could say, well, that's awful harsh, and you know, you're not using allegedly. The corruption at the highest level of the FBI. Now, not the day-to-day agents, not the field agents, not the field offices. I'm talking the top echelon, the people that are down the hall from Andy McCabe, James Comey, Peter Strzok. These down the hall levels, you know, there's the 13th floor or whatever you want to call it. That's corruption. Anyhow, we'll get into that a little later. So today's election day. It's 9 o'clock, and that means an hour. Did you vote on the way in this morning, Amanda? Are you scheduled to vote, or?
You know what time I get here.
So, okay, you did. All right. So I know what time you get here. Okay.
So I'm going to vote this afternoon. And I'm so excited.
You're excited?
Yeah.
Show ends at 10. I'm going to vote at 10:18.
Lucky.
Yeah, I want to go. I want.
And show everyone your shirt. He has his voting
my red,
shirt
white,
on.
and blue.
Red,
white, and blue. Yeah. It's election day. I got my red, white, and blue on. So, all that being said, let's talk about the governor's race in Georgia. Now, this is actually the only race I'm aware of in the country. Now, there's four other. There's Arkansas, Georgia. I don't think it's Indiana, but I know it's Kentucky. But there's 4 states today that are holding primary elections. But Georgia governor's race is the only one that's got national recognition. It even to the point that this morning, Fox and Friends at 5 o'clock said, you know, they put the 5 candidates up and said, it's a big day in Georgia. Fox and Friends even put Mike Williams' bus up again this morning. Okay? Now, that being said, this election has taken some twists and turns. Let's get the Democrat primary out of the way and over with. Now, Stacey Abrams is the minority leader in the General Assembly, in the House of Representatives. She's the first African American to lead the House of Representatives. She's the minority leader, okay? So she will probably win tonight over the other Democrat, Stacey Evans. So you have 2 Stacys, Stacey Abrams and Stacey Evans. Okay, they have not returned any of our phone calls. There's Stacey Evans. They've not returned any of our phone calls here. We have been asked over the past 3 months why we only have Republican candidates. Well, we're in North Georgia, and we want you to know, we have reached out to these candidates, and they have not return calls. Now, I feel...
And I will back you up on that, because I worked this weekend to get everybody on the show yesterday, and not a peep.
Well, I think between first of all, Stacey Abrams will win, okay? Evans will not. Abrams will win, and that's my opinion. And I do think we stand a chance of getting her on the show once she's the nominee, okay? Because she will want to try to rally the Democrat vote. I will tell you this, I don't know, I think just when the Democrats stand a chance, and for those Republicans out there yelling through the camera, I do think Democrats stand a chance to take back Georgia, and I think we, conservatives, we, Republicans that act like, are supposed to be conservatives, that act more like Democrats, but on the Republican side of the aisle, we have created the atmosphere for a Democrat to get elected in Georgia. We just have. We've created that atmosphere for a Democrat to get elected. We can go into that on and on, but it's here. I do think the right candidate just needs that 4%. If you look, you know, Nathan Deal won by 5%. I don't know, maybe 5. Some people will call it 6 or whatever. But really, a good Democrat-Republican race in Georgia is a 5% race. And right now would have been the perfect time of the year for the Democrats to have a candidate on the ballot to get the 5% they need out of rural Georgia, because there are so many in rural Georgia, there's so many Democrats on the ballot. I mean, there's a Democrat on the ballot we're going to talk about in the 9th district that will bring people out to vote. There's in the 9th Congressional District. There's Democrats on the ballot for Board of Education, Board of Commissioners up in Fannin County. There's a Democrat on the ballot, Rick Day, for the 7th House District here in Georgia, right here where we're at. So there's so many Democrats. And I told you, look at every one of these races we have highlighted this morning, from Secretary of State, Insurance Commissioner, Lieutenant Governor, right to Governor. There are Democrats everywhere to pull the vote in. So I think this year would have been the perfect time for a Democrat to field a candidate in the Georgia governor's race to get that 5% vote they need in rural Georgia. But Stacey Abrams will not be. I will tell you this. Let's go. You know, I guess Brian Kemp coined this phrase the other day. Is that what it called? Yep, I said it, right? Yep, I said that. I watched a little bit of the Democrat debate the other day. And in a little bit of that Democrat debate on Sunday, obviously, the African-American woman that is some kind of political something down there in Atlanta, she's African-American. That's the political correctness side. Let me get you a 50-50, okay? 50% political correctness, 50% not, okay? The African-American version of Rosie O'Donnell that asked questions on the debate panel there, okay? She looks at Stacey Abrams and she says something like, how do you think you will do being a black, progressive, female, woman? Now, she went all the way around it, unmarried. Well, now, I'm sorry, damn it. I mean, is she gay, lesbian? What is she? Because, you know, that's what I've been told. So why didn't you just throw it in? What the hell's wrong with you? Why didn't you just throw it in? That's what she was asked. She was asked, how do you think a African-American, single, black, blah, 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 blah woman will do with white voters? Those white people. Stacey Abrams had to say, I see white people. How? Well, I'm going to answer that for you. You Rosie O'Donnell look-alike. They're not. They're not. Rural Georgia is not going to come vote for her. Get mad. Can you throw anything at me? It's not a Democrat vote. They're not going to. And second, just when the Democrats have a state. Now, I know Republicans are screaming, shut the hell up, will you, damn it? No. You have a state that is crafted and ready for that Democrat. But you get a candidate like Stacey Abrams, okay? And then you got Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders types coming in and rushing. These people are rushing so far to the left right now. There's no way of getting even close. There's no way of throwing a gravitational pull to get her close to a center to win Georgia. And if Georgia is what's called a center-right state, and I hate when they start all that garbage, it's a center-right, it's a center-left, it's a center here, it's a moderate. What the hell, okay? But if Georgia is a center-right state, this lady is so far to the left with Bernie Sanders endorsements and wacko endorsements and her policies that in the general election, you can't pull her back even enough with the gravitational force field to get her anywhere near the center. Now, let me give you a senatorial race, okay? Michelle Nunn. when she ran against David Perdue. She did not come close really at all. But when Michelle Nunn ran against David Perdue, she went so far left. Not even as far as they are going now. They're going just when the Democrats could do something in Georgia, they're pushing so far left that their gravitational pull can't pull them to center. Michelle Nunn had the name Nunn, and that pulled her back close enough to look center, although she was not. Stacey Abrams will be the Democrat candidate, but she will not win as next governor of Georgia. We will see a lot of time. Why not say it now? Now, on the Republican side of the coin, Casey Cagle's the lieutenant governor, okay? Casey Cagle actually crafted a whole lot of legislation. Brian Kemp said this the other night in the debate. Sunday in the debate, Brian Kemp said it's interesting. The only time you can be a conservative is in election year. This election year, you seem to have election year conservative legislation. That was Brian Kemp's words, not mine. But Cagle became very fortunate early on, okay, to have that NRA / gun control / Delta encounter. So Casey Cagle got national recognition. He got the NRA endorsement. Now, we'll tell you this, and we'll say this on the record today, Tuesday. We asked every candidate for their NRA survey. Brian Kemp, Hunter Hill, Michael Williams, Clay Tippins, and Casey Cagle. We received Michael Williams, we received Hunter Hill's, and we received Brian Kemp's. Clay Tippin is just too arrogant and condescending to send you anything, okay? Maybe he's out swimming or something. Anyhow, that being said, but Cagle's campaign did not send us a copy of their NRA survey. Their quote to us was, "Isn't just the fact the NRA endorsed him enough for you?" I said no, but it is. That's all we got. So he received the endorsement of the NRA. He was fortunate enough to have the bump heads with Delta, the tax cut. It all looked good for him. He made national news. He was fortunate enough that the President of the United States passed this massive tax cut, which gave Georgia such a surplus that they were able to cut 1/4% or 0.5%. It's like 5.5, 0.5% of taxes, like they've really done something. But they were able to do that this year, thank you, Donald Trump. So he's able to brag about a tax break, able to brag about Delta, and several other things. So Casey Cagle came out of the box with what many called a 41%. So he started with 41%. A month ago, he went to 41%. So he never moved the needle. Now, a month ago when he was at 41%, I will tell you this, I was with his campaign no less than 3 weeks ago. There's a time in his campaign that they realized there was going to be a runoff, okay? And at that time, they went into don't make any mistakes mode, okay? Because there was a time about a month ago that Casey Cagle, it was time about a month ago, Casey Cagle seen a shadow and realized there were going to be 9 more weeks of winter, all right? That means a runoff to July, like July 24th or 22nd. And when he realized there was going to be 9 more weeks of winter, they went into make sure you make no mistakes. We will come out the front runner. Even if it's 1%, we will be the front runner. So they went into what I call don't answer any question mode. They went into answer questions in a box and don't get out of it. They went into motorboat. They got out fishing and they put it into neutral and it's just idling. Now, this is not a bad strategy for him. But then they kicked in, who do we want to run against? All right? So they idled this campaign, is my opinion. And the Fox 5 Insider Advantage poll, if memory right, could you find that picture? It may be a little old. Let me look that up, Amanda. I'm trying to find it because I know we cropped it not long ago, and it had the here it is, and the Fox 5 Insider Advantage poll. Waiting for it to come up here. Casey Cagle was at 35%. Brian Kemp 17, Hunter Hill 10, and this is only a week ago. So he never moved the needle up from 41, and he drifted back to 35 in probably what is the most solid polling at this time. And he made a decision a couple months ago, or at least a month ago, when they really realized, hey, they're not going to pull this thing off and they're not going to move the needle. Who do I want to run against? So that being said, you got Casey Cagle to pick today. He's the lieutenant governor of Georgia. I will say to this, out of 4 out of 5 candidates, there's only one I dislike. I'm sorry. I shouldn't do that. Only one I dislike. Only one that I'm not endorsing any candidates, but there's only one that I can guarantee you will not get my vote. And that is Clay Tippins. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Have I said arrogant and condescending before? I don't remember. Have I said that and with his name? Have you heard me say that, Amanda? Okay. I just want to make sure because I do. That's the only candidate I just sit straight. I hope he doesn't get in the runoff because I don't want to deal with him. I don't like him. All right. As my dad would say, he didn't impress me one iota. I don't know what an iota is. Do you know what the hell an iota is?
Heard it.
Huh?
I've heard it. I've never actually understood what an iota is. What is an iota?
I don't know, but Dad always says he didn't
Yeah,
impress me one iota. So, all right, anyhow. That being said, so now let's move on to Brian Kemp. Now, this is the order I think they will come in tonight. Sorry, Hunter Hill. I do not think you will be number 2 in the race. Now, Brian Kemp, Secretary of State, is obviously the choice for some reason that Casey Cagle wants to run against. Now, I'm going to look in the camera and say I'm not for sure I know why. I have been trying to put my finger on why he wants to run against Brian Kemp. Now, my one opinion is that the very day that he runs against Brian Kemp, career establishment politician and swamp dweller goes away. Brian Kemp has been in the Georgia Senate, and he went from the Georgia Senate to the Secretary of State's office. And, you know, although I do like Mr. Kemp, he can get labeled career politician.
You think that?
Huh?
You think he's going to get labeled that?
No, he can't yell it. He can't yell it. He can't call Casey a 28-year career politician. Because Kemp's got, what, 12, 14 years in himself?
He does, but...
There ain't no but, damn it. Where the hell's your but?
No, there is a but, because he campaigns differently, and he campaigns honestly.
Okay. You're leaving the subject matter.
I am, but I want to throw that out there.
Okay, I'll get your throw that out there. I was going to ask you your whole opinion in just a second. I was going to give you 30 seconds. Go. No, here we go. Kemp, if he runs against Kemp, I do not want to know why, because there's an enormous amount of money been spent on anti-Hunter Hill campaign. Oh, an enormous amount. Came from the Cagle campaign, came from their people, and went after Hunter Hill relentlessly. So it has been determined that Casey Cagle does not want to run against Hunter Hill. We'll talk about that in a minute. And it seems like they want to run against Brian Kemp. Maybe it could be this simple, but Brian Kemp cannot run an establishment commercial against him, cannot call him the establishment. I don't think he can. Can't call him a career politician. It might come off the table because right now, when you look at, they spend a lot of money, folks. A lot of money do they spend figuring out what phrase, the phrase that pays. You know, you heard your radio station say the phrase that pays. Career politician, establishment, swamp. They test all these words and all these phrases to see how they hit with you, the voter. And establishment hits. Career politician hits. Okay? Under the gold dome hits. So I think Cagle really seriously enough is that important to take that off the table, because I do think the next the Republican candidate that gets this Republican endorsement here as the candidate for the Republican Party will be the next governor of Georgia. So I think that's one thing. Now the second thing is there are some things that have taken place in the Secretary of State's office that he may be able to take advantage of. Not the leak, not the hack. That's where Clay Tippins out and out lied. Accidentally, so many millions of Social Security numbers, and a data breach was sent out unintentionally from the Secretary of State's office. But they may be able to take some things to task there. But Brian Kemp will come in second. Now, Hunter Hill will be third. We'll give you my percentages in a minute. Hunter Hill will be third. Hunter Hill was probably the strongest candidate, okay? And I'm going to share this with you. I have spoke to every single candidate on this campaign trail. Every single one. With the exception of the two that don't even come together polling as 1%. But the top 5 I've spoke to. Clay Tippins, I've spoke to. He's chose not to speak to me. You know what? I just thought about it. I keep telling you I don't like Clay Tippins. I figured it out. You know what it is?
What is it?
He doesn't like me. That's okay, but I got it. He doesn't like me. Okay, so Tippins, he doesn't like me. Get him off the screen. I don't want to look at him until I see it.
Are we going back to Hunter Hill?
So I have spoke to every one of these candidates, every single one, and I've told everyone. This is not a secret. This is not off the record. Okay, Hunter Hill, I've talked to him. Pool's Barbecue. I've talked to Mr. Kemp. He was right out here in our lobby. I have talked to Michael Williams multiple times, and I've talked to Casey Cagle. Early on in the campaign, I actually told Casey Cagle, this is early on. I mean, this session was still going on. This is February or March. I told him, you know, in March or April, I said, hey, the guy coming right after your heels is right there, Hunter Hill. I said, that's the guy on your heels. I told Casey Cagle that. I said, that's the guy on your heels. That's the guy when you look in your rearview mirror, you're going to see right there. I said that to him. Okay? Point being is, he has been the rearview mirror guy until the last 33 weeks. Till Kemp launched some pretty good national ads that hit pay dirt with people and resonated. Okay? And there was a side of Kemp that everybody saw in the last couple of weeks that they really liked. They really liked. But this guy here, he got a little flat, okay? I don't know if he thought he was in second place and was playing safe second place, but I will tell you this, he got a little flat in the last 30 days, okay? Everybody respects Hunter Hill's service. Everybody respects him as a patriot. But I tell you what, it almost got old having to hear that he was an Army Ranger. Okay, I'm sorry, no disrespect, Mr. Hill, or any of your voters, I promise you. But the number one thing that I would hear from people say, they would say it in a joking, not joking at you, sir, because the last thing we want to do is make sure that not one of our comments have any kind of disrespect to your patriotism or your service to this country. But, you know, one of the little things that was going around, people would call each other and say, hey, have you heard Hunter Hill's an Army Ranger? He's stuck on a couple things, which good for him. He feels those are the things that'll get him through. Fine, we respect that. But in the last 10 days, I have him out here on the desk, an enormous amount of money was spent on the two faces of Hunter Hill that went after him. He said they were out and out lies yesterday. He did answer the time when supposedly, you know, he said Trump would be no better than Barack Obama. That's when he was endorsing Ted Cruz. And Ted Cruz is now endorsing him. He's been accused as a never-Trumper. He's denied all that on this show right here. He endorses the President of the United States. That being said, it has been clear that Casey Cagle does not want to run against him. Now, I will tell you, that's my opinion. Casey Cagle does not want to run against Hunter Hill. Hunter Hill will go after him as a career politician, will go after him on his record as lieutenant governor, and he'll bring it to him in a whole different way. And it's very clear he doesn't want to run against Hunter Hill. Let's move along, and you have Mike Williams. Mike Williams threw the Hail Mary pass. I told you Monday a week ago that, hey, this is the week. It has to happen. And what I say, Mike Williams has got to throw a Hail Mary pass. He's got to do something so outrageous. Well, you're going to be shocked when I give you my numbers, okay? And I think I'll give my numbers right after this because I don't really want to talk about Clay Tippins. But this is my order. I think Mike Williams comes in right after Hunter Hill above Clay Tippins. Mike Williams created the deportation bus. He was on the show yesterday, okay? Here's what he did. And people, when you go to the polls, there are a percent of people that look at the ballot and say, I kind of like that guy. It don't matter if they saw his commercial for, 30 seconds, and that's all they know. I kind of like that guy. All right? A lot of people don't know these people when they go to vote. So Michael Williams throws the whole Hail Mary pass at the deportation bus. He makes statewide news. He is opened up to a whole new group of people that didn't even know he was running. Now, if you're a Michael Williams supporter, you're angry at me saying, yeah, we knew Michael's running. We're Michael. But I tell you what, there's a lot of people that did not know because he's self-funding his campaign for the most part. He's getting small contributions for the most part. He doesn't have the big money in his campaign. He's gone door to door, foot soldier, grassroots, and local level people working for him getting the vote out. And he threw a Hail Mary pass, and he needed the state to look at him again. I said it yesterday. Would you agree, Amanda, that at least the bus got people to know his name and got them to look at him, like him or not?
It did, and I want to throw something in there. Just from all the social media platforms, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, you would be surprised with all of the negative press that went on with the bus. I have never seen so many people from that bad of media backlash all of a sudden pop up and say that they're going to vote for Mike Williams.
They're going to vote for Michael Williams.
Yes.
Right.
It's crazy.
Yes. He has put his name on the ballot. Now, no, I understand, well, his name's been on the ballot for a while. Well, listen to me close. What I'm saying is he stamped his name on the ballot this week, like him or not. Did he not?
He sure did.
Okay, so drum roll, please. And I know you don't have it ready, but here you go, folks. This is how I see tonight's turnout. Wonder what you have for tonight's turnout, but this is what I see. I'll pull it up here in a minute. First of all, I feel Brian Kemp will hit within single digits. That's number one in my prediction. It'll be a single digit. I believe Casey Cagle will get 31% of the vote. 31%. Casey Cagle. I believe Brian Kemp will come in second with 23% of the vote. Brian Kemp with 23%. That's my number two. Okay? Single digits. I believe right after Brian Kemp, Hunter Hill will come in with 20% of the vote. Okay? Hunter Hill with 20%. Now, I think it was too little too late, or you needed 2 Hail Mary passes, my good friend. Okay, I like you, but you needed 2 Hail Marys. You're down by 14. You threw a Hail Mary, you got 7 back, you lose by 7. Michael Williams, you're going to lose by 7 there to Hunter Hill. I think you'll come in third, but you'll have 13%. So I know polling said you had 3%, but I think you're going to come in there right behind Hunter Hill and make a decent showing at 13. I think Clay Tippins will bottom out at 12%, right under Michael Williams. And I think the other will get 1%. There is another. So Casey Cagle, 31%, Brian Kemp, 23%, Hunter Hill, 20%, Michael Williams, 13%, Clay Tippins, 12%, and the other 1%. And what say you? What do you think? And how do you think my predictions, Amanda, what do you think of my numbers?
I think you're right on the money.
What if I am on the money?
I don't even know. You want a cookie tomorrow?
No, you know what I want?
What do you want?
If I hit these, all right, let's just say I hit them within just a margin of error. Like, let's say Casey is 32 and Kemp's 31. If I'm in the ballpark, let's call the ballpark within 3 either way on all of them, or 2. I'll even say 2 either way on all of them. All right? Okay, you ready? Is that good?
I'm ready. What do you got?
I want one of those Burger King crowns.
Oh my god. All right, that's easy enough.
Yeah, if I'm within 2, I got to be within 2 on all of them.
All right.
I got to hit all 5 within 2.
Okay.
And if I hit all 5 within 2, so if Kegel's 31
I
or
mean, I can get you that on a regular day. You sure you don't want
No.
I
I want to be king for a day if I hit all 5 within 2.
Okay, that's easy enough.
Okay, get out and vote. Don't complain. I don't want to hear it. Damn it, I'm on a roll today. I'm having too much fun. We're going to take a break. And I am going to come back and introduce you to a Democrat that's going to cause just enough heartburn in the 9th District. Just a little heartburn where the guy's going to have to get some hand acid from time to time because you got to give it. The guy is out there day to day saying, vote for me. Back after these messages.
Ace is your helpful place for paint and home goods, tools, outdoor living, and lawn equipment. But did you know Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge is a little bit more? We have hunting rifles and accessories for your next hunting trip. We have Amish furniture imported directly from Ohio. And we have Ace Custom Woodworks for all your custom wood project needs, from cabinets to artwork. Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge. We have your new house in stock.
The Tupelo Tea mission is to provide over 80 premium tea blends for tea lovers who are looking for ways to explore new flavors and blends. Come visit Tupelo Tea, located in beautiful downtown Blue Ridge at Sycamore Crossing. Be sure to sample our various varieties of honey and tea. Visit us on the web at tupelotea.com or call us at 706-946-TEAS. That's TEAS. Tupelo Tea, located in beautiful downtown Blue Ridge.
What you gonna do with all that junk?
Lady, and this is my husband Gary, owners of Mattress Overstocked in Elijah next to Walmart.
And we want to earn your business. From the time you walk in our door to the time we deliver your new mattress to your door, you will see the difference. Our selection and prices are the best in North Georgia, and customer service is our top priority. So y'all come on in and let us help you find the right mattress at the right price. That's Mattress Overstocked in Elijah next to Walmart.
Better days ahead. Yellow pollen means green cash at Days Chevrolet in Jasper. The spring savings event is on at Days, and the discounts are deep. Now save up to $11,000 off select new 2018 Chevy Silverados, or up to $6,000 off select new 2018 Equinox. Pick any Chevy you want and save a bunch during the spring savings event going on now at Days Chevrolet in Jasper, where new Chevys cost less.
Better days ahead, Days Chevrolet.
Find new roads.
And we're back, folks. I'm your host, BKP. We will look at the Twitter deck before we leave today's show, see what all the President of the United States is doing. We will look around the internet. I do know the Wall Street Journal asks, where in the world was Barack Obama? A very good question. Where was Waldo? I mean, when everybody was slipping everybody $1 or two to spy on somebody, where was Waldo at? Where was old Big Ear, President Big Ear, huh? Where was Dumbo Floppy Ears President Obama? Where was he at? Where was that smoking little skinny of a real African-American Obama? Where was he?
Do you remember?
Was that wrong? Was that wrong?
No, this is taking it somewhere, but do you remember when he smoked?
Oh, God, he always smoked.
Okay, but...
I think he smoked. You know what? Now, wait a minute. Let me ask you a question.
That's okay.
No, let me say something real racist. I want to.
Oh,
this
God.
is my opportunity.
Here we go.
Okay, you know, the brother is, he's half and half, you know.
I'm cringing right now.
You
I'm
understand?
About to kill your mic.
No, don't kill my mic. He's half and half, right?
Yeah.
Right? His mom was white and his dad they're both dead, I guess, so there was. Was. So his mom was white and his dad was black, correct?
Right.
Do you know how you defined actually the race that he gravitated to? Do you know how to define his dominant race?
How?
He smoked Newports.
How do you know that? I thought it was Cools.
No, Newports. Brother smoked Newports. Oh, brother go smoke Newports. They're down there in Philly.
Yeah,
got the big
but
sign.
Donald Trump can't drink his Diet Cokes and eat his Big Macs, so...
You missed my whole joke.
I totally got your joke, but I'm trying to redirect it away because we're in dangerous territory here.
Oh, okay. Anyhow. Okay. I'm just saying, brother smoked Newports. Yo, brother, you got a stick. All right, anyhow. Hook a brother up.
Stop it.
Just saying, man.
Stop.
All right, here is the candidate. here is the candidate that will give Doug Collins a little heartburn. Now, don't get upset with me out there. Now, you know I get along with Congressman Doug Collins, and you know I'm friends with a lot of you in the 9th District. You're good people, but he does have a Democrat challenger. Now, today when you go to the polls, you're going to see Doug Collins as the 9th Congressional District unopposed candidate. It's the only name on the ballot, but not in November. You will see this guy named Josh McCall. Now, Josh has been on the show before, Amanda. We can get him back on, and he will tell you that we have had spirited debates. He calls them spirited debates, Amanda. Josh and I have had some spirited debates, and I enjoy them. And I've went to a couple things that he has had. But put his picture up there. You got Josh McCall. He is running his campaign in the 9th District. He is on the ballot against David Cooper. I think there's a guy by the name of David Cooper that's opposing him on the ballot today. McCall should get the win and be the nominee for the 9th District. But he is Josh McCall, and he calls his campaign McCall for All. Very liberal guy, straight up, Democrat, 9th District. But you know the Brian Kemp... he took both of Brian Kemp's last commercials and he did a spoof on both of these commercials and puts it together, and it is pretty clever. So we're going to roll this. We're going to give him his free 2 minutes here, but you're going to enjoy this.
I'm Josh McCall, and I'm running for U.S. Congress in Georgia's beautiful 9th District. I'm so conservative, I actually have things I want to conserve, like the environment, Social Security, and health care for my neighbors. That was what Doug Collins has promised he will do to Social Security if you elect him again. I got my chainsaw ready to go up to Washington and cut through the corruption in both parties. This is a truck. If I have to, I'm going to take this truck and round up all the immigrants in Georgia and get them a path to citizenship and decent treatment in their workplace. Yep, I just said that. This is a beautiful weapon, and the Second Amendment protects your right to own one of these weapons. The Second Amendment also protects other people with a well-regulated militia. That's why I believe we've got to pass common sense gun laws to keep these weapons out of violent killers' hands. Now remind me again what is required to date my daughter?
A healthy respect of the Second Amendment?
What does the Second Amendment got to do with dating my daughter?
I mean a healthy respect of women, because women are individuals.
That's much better. Now that was not my truck, or my chainsaw, or my shotgun, but this is my accent, and these are my values. If you're like me, I'm tired of these politicians with their gimmicks, trying to divide us up by race and language and citizenship. I believe we can build a better future for all Americans through compassion and cooperation. Vote McCall for All in 2018.
Did you like that, Amanda? Did you like that?
I have no comment.
I thought it was clever.
I have no comment.
I mean, didn't you think that was clever?
It was clever.
Yeah, that's all I'm looking for.
That's the only comment I'm gonna make.
I'm not saying I just thought it was clever. I thought it was clever. I thought it was a pretty good little spoof on those last two commercials. And Josh McCall, obviously Doug Collins will win the 9th District, and that's not a concern that I think he should have. I know I don't. But this guy is going to be on the ballot, and he's going to be just enough heartburn. And I thought that was clever. Okay, that's not his truck. I did like what's the Second Amendment got to do with dating my daughter. I thought that was cute. All right, Amanda.
Very clever, very clever.
All right, thank you. I've been waiting for that. Amanda, do you have anything this morning at our 9:30:42 hour?
I do. I actually, on the other note, I have Doug Collins is recognizing, and let me get her information up really quick. Let's see. Today. Okay, Doug Collins is recognizing, Mackenzie Ralston, and they went to a reception honoring Academy appointees on May 18th, and she is a U.S. Merchant Marine Academy in Kings Point, New York. Sorry, Jessica must have been typing this email really, really fast. And then the quote was, Northeast Georgia continues to produce talented and driven individuals who excel in our nation's military academies. It's an honor to nominate and congratulate this year's Academy appointees for their accomplishments in our community, and I'm thankful for their service and their dedicating to this country. That was from Doug Collins.
Do you have a picture of the young lady, or is that on the group there?
That's her. Mackenzie is the blonde in the middle there.
Okay, congratulations, Mackenzie. You got anything else this morning?
That's all I got.
All right, did you ever get a picture from the, did you ever get a picture of the new princess?
Oh, yeah, I did.
Yeah, can we try could we try to end the show almost as close as I opened it?
Yeah, we can.
Look
and
at that. Look at that, folks. It took an hour and 45 minutes to get a picture.
I've got one of her best headshots ready for you, too.
I can't see across the room. Where's my glasses? Are my glasses here?
Get your glasses on.
Oh, they're on my head. Who is that?
That's Meghan Markle.
No, put the one up where she really looks like a princess. What the hell is that?
That's her headshot.
That's her headshot?
Are you gonna dog my picture? Hold on.
That looks like she's in Narnia or something.
All right, this will take another hour. Just kidding. I'll get it.
What?
She is in Narnia. She's a princess.
Oh gosh, I don't like to get that off the screen, folks.
You're so picky.
I want to see. I just want to say nicely. I want this one nice comment. There's got to be something nice I say within an hour and 2 hours. I did not watch the wedding. I don't care. They were all wearing swans on their head. 7 lords were leaping or whatever over there in Great Britain, and they had the horse and buggy and everything going. Are you telling me you still don't have a picture? An hour and a half later.
I'm getting it. I'm getting it.
I tell you what, the people have spoken. They're upset with you right now. I could tell. Because you don't have the picture of the princess. Anyhow, folks.
You better watch the news, because if any car wrecks happen, it was something fishy.
I didn't hear that, but we're gonna let that slide. All right, President Trump went over, giving a good speech to the CIA, and Gina Haspel is your new CIA director. Gives her full support. That was done. If you don't have a picture, we're gonna have to move on. And I will highlight for 5 straight days how within 2 hours I couldn't get one single picture. It will happen every day. Oh, there they are.
You couldn't get one single picture.
Is that the best one? I wanted one in her dress where she was really like...
That is her wedding day, and she looks marvelous in that picture.
All right.
Go with it.
Actually, what I have been waiting for 2 hours is just get an opportunity to say, I do not care about this wedding, but I do want to say that is a beautiful young lady, and congratulations. Now, after all that pressure, that's all I wanted to say. Let's move on. Folks,
Are you serious?
Huh?
That was 2 hours of work.
I just wanted to acknowledge she's a beautiful young lady, and I thought she made a beautiful princess, and whatever they do over there. I watched The Crown. I watched both seasons of The Crown, and I really like The Crown because it's the history. The first season of The Crown, what's his name, wins a big award for playing Winston Churchill. What is his name? Played Winston Churchill in the first season, and it's very good. You know, there was a day where the sun never set on the United Kingdom. There was a time when the sun never set. They had so many colonies around the world that there was always sun shining on the United Kingdom. And you know, the Crown actually shows the history of the colonies getting their independence and what happened at the Suez Canal there in Egypt, and just one thing after another. that being said, but the new royal family, what I say today, I have no interest in what they do now. All right, moving right along, I want to say this, okay? I want to talk about anonymous sources because it's almost impossible to keep up with the information. Now, obviously, in 10 minutes, I'm not going to be able to discuss with you the leaks, the anonymous sources, the moles, the infiltration of campaigns. But let's just say this, okay? You got George Papadopoulos, and you keep hearing this stuff, and so many other, Carter Page, one thing after another. These agencies are behemoths. They're absolutely behemoths. I mean, if that's the word. They're humongous agencies. I mean, what was the thing about the Veterans Administration, VA, with the doctor that they wanted to appoint? What is it? The VA has 300,000 employees? 300,000? Okay. The IRS, the Board of Department of Education, the CIA, the FBI, the Department of Justice. The next time you go to Washington, D.C., and you look, and you go to the monuments, and you enjoy the World War II monument, and you enjoy going to the White House and the Capitol, and you enjoy going to the Library of Congress or whatever, and you go and you look at the World War I and the World War II and the Roosevelt Memorial and the Vietnam Wall and so on and so forth. Go over and look at the Department of Justice. These enormous 3-city block buildings, 5 stories high or whatever. Go over and look at the FBI when you get a chance. Look at these monstrosities we created. Now, I said in the beginning of the show it would be easier, it may be easier to solve a trade crisis with China and denuclearize North Korea may be an easier task for Donald Trump than to infiltrate this deep state and break it up. Because they're all on board with each other. Brennan, Clapper, I mean, the list, you can't even begin to go on of how corrupt this is. But here's the thing. They all have their favorite watering holes. So let me paint a picture of these anonymous sources by the Post, and these anonymous sources by the New York Times, and these anonymous sources with Axios, and these anonymous sources with The Hill. The list goes on and on of these anonymous sources. Let me tell you who they are. Everybody that, these people go to work in these buildings and they come out and they want to be a part, even the White House has major staff, they want to be a part of the day's cycle because they live in that swamp, okay? And they go to these little watering holes. There's so many little watering holes after work. So you may think I'm wrong, but these behemoths of the deep state organizations that we've allowed to come to life here in Washington, D.C., Department of Justice, FBI, IRS, the list goes on. They all have their little watering hole, so they're down at the water cooler down at the end of the day, and where's the closest place when we come out of the elevator to either get in a car or go down the street at 5 o'clock and have a drink? Whether you want to believe that or not. Well, at 5 o'clock in Washington, D.C. and around these behemoths that we've allowed to create the deep state, there's all these little watering holes when you open the door. There's O'Reilly's little Irish pub, and there's Chester's Irish pub. Why they all have to be Irish? That was just wrong. Johnny's Beer Barn, we'll change that up. I'm sorry. I apologize to all my Irish friends. But what I'm saying is there are all the little pubs down through there, okay, watering holes. And they're full at 5 o'clock. Absolutely full. And what do? We get some, we order a couple bowls of loudmouth soup. That's the bottom line. This is how simple this is, folks. They order a couple bowls of loudmouth soup, and then people talk. And they're on bar stools and they're talking and they're sharing stuff they should never share and say stuff they shouldn't say. But guess what? That's where all these little low-life moles hang out. They hang out. And they get a little recorder in their pocket and turn on, just leave it there. And while there's two people leaned here, they lean right here and, you know, drink their martini. You may think I've lost my mind, but that is where a good large portion of these articles have their anonymous sources. Sources say. As much as you don't want to believe this, so much of this stuff is being said over loudmouth soup drinks at 5 o'clock, whether you want to believe it or not. It's where the big coverage is coming from. And the bottom line is, you may think, hey, was the FBI this careless? I mean, they couldn't have been this careless. Was the CIA this careless? Was the Department of Justice this careless? Was the Obama White House this careless? You have to understand, okay? They needed a bug inside the Trump campaign to see what direction the Trump campaign was going, and to make sure they had all the information they could have at the needed appointed time if necessary. But they were so loose with their lips, they were so loose with what they did, and they were so careless that yes, they're actually getting caught because it was never supposed to happen. Never supposed to happen. You were never supposed to happen. I was never supposed to happen. There was never supposed to be conservative networks out there actually giving the news. There was never supposed to be you and I at the polls. There was never supposed to be a Donald Trump. There was never supposed to be a loss for Hillary Clinton. Never. It just was never going to happen. Okay? Now, the reason they did the mole and everything for Donald Trump, I'll just put it in a frame, is because he was unconventional. And I'll tell you why. They knew how to beat, right? They knew how to beat John McCain candidate. And they knew how to beat a Mitt Romney candidate. And whether you like it or not, they would have known how to beat a Ted Cruz. Well, no, they would have known how to beat Ted Cruz. And they would have definitely known how to beat Jeb Bush. And we'll say Jeb Bush and leave it there. They knew how to beat them. But Donald Trump was striking unconventional ground that they never thought would win. Never. But it was so unusual, they had to make sure they knew inside what was going on, because something about this is just not right to them. They were never supposed to lose, folks. It was never supposed to happen. The media can't convince you Trump is bad. That is where they're at today. Minka Brzezinski and Joe Scarborough are enemies of the United States of America. Watch them one morning and you will realize they are enemies of the United States of America. They are doing everything to create a constitutional crisis, to get the president impeached, removed at all cost. They are doing everything they can on a daily basis to divide the country. They are enemies of the United States of America. Watch one morning at 6 a.m. and you're going to be amazed at how much these people have hate in their heart. For all of us that support Trump, even if you did not vote for him, do not like him, you liked Marco Rubio. If you're going to work today, see, they could not convince you Trump is that bad. They couldn't convince you during the campaign not to vote for him. They couldn't convince you a week before not to vote for him. They couldn't convince you after he won illegally, and it should have never happened. They could not convince you in any way over a year now that Trump shouldn't be president. They just can't convince you of that. And they're not going to stop. There's not going to be. There's an easier chance. Let me tell you this, and I'm going to go because it's time for Dave Gardner's Instant Replay, the only #1 news sports show in North Georgia. And this show's awesome, is it not, Amanda? I mean, it is just a great show.
Yes, and we're having a lot of fun doing it too.
Yes, Dave Gardner's Instant Replay. But let me close with this morning, okay? You're not going to like this comment, so we'll close with it. It is going to be easier to sign a peace treaty between North and South Korea than to sign any kind of peace treaty to heal this country with people like CNN, MSNBC, ABC, CBS, MSNBC, I said that twice, all the above, especially Joe Scarborough and people like Minka Brzezinski. I'm your host, BKP. We'll be back tomorrow morning. Now, tonight, go to FetcherNews.com. Click on the main page, FetcherNews.com. We'll have the state results, and we've been keeping those up for you on FetcherNews.com. And then click on your county, Fannin, Gilmer, whatever, as we try to develop and get your local election results in. Polls close at 7. First results come in at 8. And from 8 all the way to whoever won, 8 to whoever, will be right on at FetcherNews.com. We're out of here. Time for Instant Replay. Don't leave after these commercials. North Georgia's new #1 sports show with Dave Gardner, Instant Replay. Take us out of here.